Stepping the mark again, Eric.
I've got a good mind to sack him.
David Glover, why?
Well, they let Zoe damn badly when they stopped Linda working for her. Why should I go on employing David?
Because he's a good worker, and he's willing to work Sundays. And you're above petty backlashes.
There's a lot of good workers out there. It's a buyer's market.
Don't sack him, Frank.
But I am above petty backlashes.
Good. Now let's enjoy the day. Classic cars should be arriving soon.
Yeah, let's get across and see how young Biff's coping with it all.
Oh, I'm employing Luke McAllister for the day.
Sure. Everything all right?
Yeah, everything's coming on a treat.
Well, we don't just feed them gunshot and have done with it.
Frank, the shoot brings in a lot of money, and you know it.
See you then.
Right, Mr. Tate.
Bye.
You definitely put the road signs out, didn't you?
Of course I did.
I've seen them. That's not the problem.
Well, something is. They should have been here by now.
Don't they usually have these things in summer?
I was approached by the organiser. They asked me if they could come here, so they're not likely to start complaining it's the wrong season, are they?
Sorry.
Don't get on to the lads, love.
I just don't understand it.
Why don't you back up? If you back up now, then that solves the problem. You should have turned left down the bottom. Right. Well,
Hello, Mr. Graham. It's Zoe Tate. I'm sorry I'm running a bit late, but I'm stuck behind some ancient cars in Whitebrook Lane. Well, I'll be there as soon as I can. Bye.
Frank? I've seen 2 signs pointing the wrong way.
Where's Biff? I'm going to have his hide for this.
Someone could have changed them.
Who'd want to do that?
I don't know.
What?
I could be wrong, but the Hunt saboteurs might have done it, out of spite.
Including Jessica and Rachel.
I'll talk to Biff about it.
Tell him to get into Emmerdale and round up any stray cars he can see. He said he saw some heading that way.
I used to have one of those. I really miss it.
Chris, it's me. Well, I've been up since 6 this morning. I haven't stopped, and I've been plagued by old cars and anorak people blocking up the lanes. Yeah. Look, I'm not going to make it home for lunch. Why don't I meet you at the Woolpack? Bye. Oh, come on.
Hi.
Hello. Just wondered if you needed any help.
No, I'm fine, thanks. I wouldn't mind the company.
Well, that's easy enough. So, how are you feeling?
Still mixed up, but I'm going home to talk to Chris.
To give him another chance?
I may be stupid, but my emotions are all over the place. I feel I should settle everything down and take stock of what's happening to us all.
Well, sounds like a sensible thing to do. And you know you can always come back here.
Yes, I know. Thanks. Perhaps when I've talked to Chris, everything will sort itself out.
I hope so.
Feel like a kid.
Oh, everyone's just a kid on their birthday.
Oh. I'll save this to wet the baby's head with. Thanks.
You're welcome. So when are you going to tell the world, then?
We want it done properly, in a calm way, with the minimum of upset.
Are you going to tell Kathy?
Yeah, when the time's right. And then Dad, and then the world.
Just hope you're doing the right thing.
Oh, she'll be all right. She's had time to come to terms with our separation by now. I don't think she'll be too surprised about the baby. Surprise might be that I'm capable of it.
As long as you're sure. Baby's not just for Christmas, you know. It's for life.
I could announce it at their wedding reception during my best man speech.
No.
Well, try telling that to your fancy man's wife. I mean, what are you going to do about him? You've got to go and see him, otherwise he'll come and find you. Could be just as embarrassing as his wife turning up.
I doubt it. But I have to see him before he sees me. Well, I've got a few calls to make, and then I'm coming back here for lunch, as it's your birthday, so I can go to the hotel after that. So if he calls...
Oh, he'll call. And I'll tell him. Bring him to Dad's wedding reception. Really get the gossip buzzing.
You're in a wicked mood this morning.
It's my birthday. Imagine the expression on Dad's face when I tell him he's going to be a granddad.
How is she?
All right. She's determined to go home, though.
To try again with Chris, or to establish her rights regarding the cottage?
Frank, don't be so cold-blooded about it. She'll be here in a minute.
I'm only asking. You know as well as I do that I want what's best for her as well as Chris.
Businessman's never far below the surface, is it?
There's nothing wrong with that. Good morning.
Morning, Frank. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Not so sure.
Sit down. Help yourself to some breakfast. It'll set you up for the rest of the day.
If only life was as simple as that.
I didn't know what to buy you. I couldn't buy you clothes. I don't even know what size you are.
You're already giving me the most precious present anybody could hope for.
What, a remote-control clock radio cassette player?
Thanks. But you shouldn't have spent so much. Or does Dr. Mac pay you a fortune?
Oh, you must be joking. Anyway, the main thing is that you like it, and I'm paying it off over 20 weeks, so I won't feel it.
You're joking. Do people do that?
Yes, in the real world. You mean you've never bought anything on tick?
What does that mean?
Oh, I can see I'm going to have to educate you. The never, never. Credit.
I'm going to enjoy learning. Come here. I'm going to enjoy you teaching me.
Yeah, I'll be a good teacher.
And I shall be a very good teacher.
I want to talk to you. Alone.
Yeah. I think it's best we all had a chat. We can do this in a civilized way.
Like hell we can. I want her out of here now. I mean it, Rachel. Get out.
Stay, Rachel.
I think it's best if I do go.
You moved out, and Rachel's going to move in, and that's the way it's going to be.
Yes, I left, and now I'm back where I belong in my home. Do you think I'm giving this up?
Don't be stupid. We can sort this out without upset, Kathy.
Get real, Chris. You might think you found true love and you're on cloud nine, but I'm going to bring you back down to earth. This is half my cottage, and everything you have is half mine. I came back to talk to you, even to give our marriage another chance, but if you're taking on that, you better face up to the reality. Get out of my house!
Just listen to yourself, Kathy. You're being ridiculous.
Ridiculous, am I? I'll show you what I am. Rachel, get out of here now before I throw you out!
Rachel's staying here with me.
Don't you think I mean it?
Kathy, calm down.
Get out, Rachel. Get out!
That's enough! Kathy!
Get you out of here! Off me, Kathy!
Kathy!
Ouch!
Stop it, Kathy!
Out my way, Chris!
Don't hurt her!
Hurt her to damn well kill her!
Stop it! She's pregnant!
I'm moving back here! Make no mistake about it, just because she's pregnant and I'm in a wheelchair, everything's gonna stop me!
There must be some somewhere in the world. They transport them in huge planes. I know that for a fact. Just do it, love. Please.
You didn't specify a colour.
I just settle for orchids. Sorry to ignore you, but it's all a bit silly around here at the moment. It's bad enough trying to organise anything, but everyone wants to start winding down for Christmas as soon as the clocks go back.
Oh, hello, Chris. Come on, Frank, 1 o'clock.
You said 2.
I've got my dressmaker's appointment at 2. We have to approve the stationery at 1. Like now.
Chris, you'll have to forgive me. We'll talk later, all right?
Yeah, don't worry about me. I'll let myself out.
See you later, Chris.
Thank you.
Bye.
How many people are coming to this wedding?
He said we could have as many as I wanted.
Of course you can. Who's Mr. and Mrs. Ron Bartlett?
Ah, he's, thinking of bringing a shoot to the game farm.
A business contact?
Oh, why not? That's how you built up a business, Frank. You know that.
You look busy.
Yeah, these should have gone off last week.
It's all right, I'll go.
Now then. Here we are. Here's yours.
Oh, first of many, it looks like.
Well, if you're going to go for it, go for it. I want my wedding to be a day to remember.
Thanks. Do you want me to reply in writing? Can I just say yes?
Just say yes.
For you, Paul Worsley.
Senior partner in the Houghton practice. My boss.
Now, where were we?
I'm not inviting the Windsors. Not after they sold my poached pheasants.
Oh, you can't do that. Viv's a member of the trust committee.
It's my wedding. I can do what I like. Anyway, we've got a bigger problem than that.
Ah?
Was that Zoe?
Looks like it.
I wonder what that was about.
I dread to think.
Who do we invite with Chris?
Cassie, of course. Oh, I see what you mean.
No, we can't invite them as a couple. Not with the way things are.
Cassie's my daughter-in-law. She's got to have an invitation.
But will Kathy want to meet Rachel?
I shouldn't think so.
Well, we don't want a scene, do we?
All right, we don't invite Rachel.
And what if Chris refuses to come without her? He's supposed to be your best man.
You know what they say, don't you? There's nothing like a wedding for splitting families.
Ah, want to bet? Oh, yes?
I'd see one of your family be called Frank would. Here you go. Wedding invitation.
Oh, thanks.
I don't know why I'm getting so excited. Not as if it's the first time.
Oh, I'm glad you are. What's wrong with celebrating? We need all the good news we can get. Oh, Ripon Cathedral.
Well, that's what Seth and Betty seem to think. Are you going to their do tomorrow?
Couldn't keep me away.
Nor me.
I've come up to see how Silver Star is after that bang she got at the weekend.
Oh, she's just over there. Shall we go and see?
Where's it gone?
Back where it came from. I had it removed this morning. And I'm going to pack all Chris's things.
Isn't all this a bit hasty?
Chris has moved out, hasn't he? So his things can go with him.
Dismantling a chairlift isn't like packing a suitcase. That thing costs money.
I had to do it, Frank. It's bad enough living here on my own without all these reminders around me. Getting rid of things is the only way I can cope.
Here you are. It's an invitation to our wedding. We've addressed it to just you under the circumstances.
Thanks. What about Rachel?
Don't worry. She's not invited.
Good. Because if she's going to be there, you can count me out.
Come in.
Hi. Hi. I thought you'd still be at work.
I just came down to see how Chris was.
As a matter of fact, this is a business visit.
About our wedding.
Oh, yeah?
I just want to make sure that you are still on course to be my best man.
And why shouldn't I be?
Well, a lot of things have changed since Frank originally asked you.
This sounds like Tate business. I'll leave it to you.
No, no, you won't. Stay here. There's only one thing that's changed as far as I can see, and that's that I'm getting out of a bad marriage and into a good relationship with Rachel.
We're not trying to change your mind, Chris. We're trying to make sure that there's no trouble at our wedding.
Kathy will be there.
Yeah, I understand.
But I'm not sure you do. If I come to the wedding, Rachel comes.
That might be difficult.
There's no need to insist.
Oh, yes, there is. What you've got to understand is that Rachel and I are permanent. There's no going back now.
What do you mean now?
This isn't the way to tell them.
I love Rachel, and she loves me. And I want to marry her.
There's time enough for that.
No, there isn't. Rachel's expecting my baby. And I hope you'll be as happy about that as we are.
Are you going to be all right the night before in a hotel?
Of course. Not that I'm superstitious, but there's no way am I going to clap eyes on my intended. As much as I'd like to. It's all organised. Chris is going to look after me.
Good.
It's a pity that Kathy can't be with him. At least she'll be able to come now that he's back down over Rachel.
I think Chris and Kathy saw each other the night before they got married.
Who knows why relationships break down?
Or get mended.
Frank Tate. Oh, yeah, good. Look, I'll come over. Yeah. Yeah, thanks a lot. Bye. What?
Well, phone, who was it?
No one.
Frank?
Nothing. You just open your post. I'm going to nip out for a bit. Have you decided who's going to give you away?
Yep.
Well,
You're not the only one who can have secrets, you know.
what secrets?
Go on. Well, I had them this morning. I must have put them down somewhere.
What is it you're looking for?
Some earrings Mum left me. I really wanted to wear them today.
Do you mind if I get myself another drink, love?
No, of course not. Help yourself.
We should be leaving soon.
I know, but I really wanted to wear them.
I know I shouldn't be here. I've told the others to wait in the car.
I'm afraid you've caught me in a bit of a state.
A bit of a state? You're entitled on your wedding morning. No, I just called in to give you this.
Oh, thank you, Betty. It's a lovely thought.
Anybody else want a drink whilst I'm here?
Oh, I'm sorry, Betty. This is my Uncle Harry. He's giving me away.
I'm sorry, I'm too nervous to remember anybody's names.
Now, have you got something old, something new, something borrowed, and something blue?
Oh, that's why I wanted to find the earrings. Something old.
Ah. Would this be it?
Oh, yes, great.
Sorry, love, I must have been sitting on it.
Something new.
Well, the dress, will that do?
Lovely. Something borrowed.
The tights? I laddered mine putting them on. Zoe had a spare pair.
Jack's panicking.
Oh, this is far more important than that, Seth. Something blue.
I'm wearing blue socks. You can have one of these about your person.
Keep thinking.
You sure you want to go through with this? It's not too late to change your mind, you know. Anything you want to know about first nights, that sort of thing.
Chris, shut up. You have got the ring, I suppose.
Yes, and the payments and the speeches. Don't worry.
I just want everything to go okay.
It will, don't worry. Everything will go like a well-oiled machine.
All right, driver.
Okay. Yep.
You'd best come into the kitchen.
Are you all right?
I can't go through with it.
What?
I thought I'd be all right. But I've been awful since your Aunt Lily died. I thought this would buck me up. But I can't walk you down that aisle with all those people looking at us. I'm sorry, love. I really have let you down.
I'm the one who should apologize for neglecting you. Now, don't you worry about a thing. I want you to have a happy day as well. Seth, I need a favor.
I'm happy to help out, love.
I hope it wasn't a mistake buying that MG.
Why should it be a mistake? She'd be thrilled to bits to be given the first car she ever owned. No, it's a great idea to have it restored. You can worry about a few things, but not that.
I just thought, suppose it starts reminding her of her youth. And she starts thinking about the age gap between us.
I can't believe this is you talking. You're normally so positive about things.
I just want everything to go okay.
You all right?
I just feel odd. Like nothing's real. You won't leave me at all today, will you?
Of course I won't, Kathy.
I'll explain later.
You look radiant.
That's fine, thank you.
Right, is that it?
I see.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to say a few words. Today I honour a great bride away. And I dare bet there's no man ever walked that aisle with a prettier young wench than I did. Yeah. In fact, I could have been prouder if she'd have been my own daughter. And it's a rare occasion when Mr. Tate has to listen to me. So I'm going to take this opportunity of giving him a bit of advice.
Hey, think on now.
So there were these two bulls on top of an hill. One was an old bull, and the other one out were a bit of a young youth of a bull. And down in valley, well, they herd of cows. So young bull says to old bull, let's run down there and make love to a cow. And wise old bull says to young bull, now lad, he says, we'll stroll down there and make love to a lot on them. I'd like to propose a toast to bride and groom. To Kim and Frank, long life and much happiness. The bride and groom.
The bride and groom. It's been a grand day. I'm ever so glad you invited us.
Our pleasure. You all right, Uncle Harry?
I am now. I'm sorry to have let you down.
Stop it. And get ready to dance with me after I've had the first with Frank.
I'll be delighted.
And save some energy to have a dance with me and all.
Right, you've got to answer to me. I feel responsible for her after today.
Don't you worry, Dad.
Thanks, Uncle Harry.
Thank you.
What about me?
Seth, you were terrific today. Thank you.
Oh, a pleasure, love, a pleasure.
Look after him, won't you?
Of course I will. This time, before you say it.
I wasn't going to.
There they go.
Oh, no. I don't believe it.
You know, I remember my first day at work. I spilled boiling hot coffee all down my boss's trousers. He went mad.
Yeah, well, I'll remember that when I see Mr. Tate.
I'm your boss too, don't forget that.
And any news on your stolen car?
No, it's probably out on the road by now with new plates and a fresh coat of paint.
I won't be too sure. It might turn up yet.
Yeah, well, I'm not holding my breath. Right, well, I'll leave you to it. After you've overhauled the grass-cutting equipment, can you clean out the swimming pool?
In at the deep end, eh?
Yeah.
Well, at least we've got the car back.
Yeah, but it's going to cost you a fortune to get it out.
Too right it will.
And joyriders are mindless, aren't they? A beautiful car like that.
I suppose you've got to laugh, Frank.
I can't think of one good reason.
Someone steals one of our cars and ends up dumping it in our swimming pool.
It's no coincidence.
What?
Well, you think about it, Kim.
It does seem a bit bizarre.
This is personal. This is a vendetta. I want a word with you, Pollard.
Always a pleasure, Frank.
What do you know about my MG midget?
Oh, yes, I'd heard you. Got a bit of a collector's item. One of the, amphibious sort, wasn't it?
It was you, wasn't it? We found it this afternoon in the swimming pool, where you dumped it.
Careful, Frank. That is slander.
It's the truth.
You have no proof at all.
No, I'm sure you were very careful.
Do you know, I really am quite curious. When anything ever happens to you, straight away you think it must be my fault. I never realized I could worry you so much.
It's you that should be worried.
You really are amusing. Look, I'm shaking.
This time you've gone too far. Finding that car for Kim meant a great deal to me.
I can imagine.
I don't think you understand what I'm saying. Not tonight, maybe not tomorrow. But one day, when you least expect it, when you're off your guard, I will get you. Remind Chapman about the penalty clause.
I've been handling him perfectly well the past 6 months, haven't I?
Of course. Like you've been handling everything else. I think the report that you've done for the AGM is great, considering it's your first.
I'll do better next year.
Well, there'll be no need, will there?
Why not?
Well, I'll be doing it. Now, listen, you tell Chapman from me I want to see substantial progress when I get back from the honeymoon.
What do you mean you'll be doing next year's report? I thought you were happy with what I'd done.
Well, I am, very. But you've kept my seat warm long enough, love. You hardly have time for your horses anymore.
What is it you said? The heart attacks made me realise I ought to take a back seat. Take it easy. Enjoy life.
And I have done. And I've dumped everything on you. But a couple of weeks in Hawaii and I'll be raring to go. Go on. And give Chapman hell.
He's been running things for 6 months. You know what sort of deviousness she's capable of.
It all seems straightforward to me.
Have you really been through these figures?
Yeah. Well, no, not closely.
No? Well, I have.
And?
And, I don't know. She screwed Dad once. And I, for one, wouldn't put it past her to do it again.
He seems happy enough.
Oh, yeah. She keeps him happy. And away from the company.
OK, I promise I will look at the figures before the meeting.
Well, can't we go through them now?
Sorry, I'm going out for a drink.
Zoe, I need you on my side. But you're the one who's always worried about her screwing Dad again.
I think you're doing enough worrying for both of us. I've got to go.
Are you going too, Chris? Oh, I suppose Rachel will be worrying where you've got to. Frank, has it occurred to you that Rachel might be manipulating Chris?
The only manipulation I'm interested in at the moment... Oh, down a bit.
I'm serious.
So am I.
She'd love to mess things up, you know. I think she's quite a little schemer.
She's a kid. They have principles. You should remember, being young...
I have principles too. And I'd hate to see our business ruined by a... I just don't think Chris is necessarily thinking straight at the moment.
That's because he's got too much time on his hands. Oh, will you do this for me on the beach at Waikiki?
I've been thinking. Maybe we should put the honeymoon off for a month or two, or at least until well after the AGM.
You've been working too hard, and the first sign of that is when you feel you can't take a holiday.
I can, but not now.
You can and now. And to kill two birds with one stone, I can stop you worrying about Chris.
Oh, yes?
Yeah. He's got too much time on his hands, so I'll get him to take things over when we're away. He can run the business. How about that? I owe you an apology.
For putting Chris in charge of the business?
No, for not consulting you first.
Oh.
Oh, come on, Kim. Who else could we trust to run everything while we're away?
Perhaps if we discussed it before you made your unilateral decision, we could have come up with somebody else.
Right, but what's done is done, and he is my son.
Who's let you down in the past when you've trusted him with responsibility?
Circumstances were different then.
He tried to take everything over, Frank. We should have talked, and you shouldn't have undermined my authority.
You seem to have conveniently forgotten the role that you played in Christopher's attempted takeover.
I was wrong to sell him the shares at the time. I've acknowledged that and apologised for that. This is different.
And as you've been given a second chance, why shouldn't I give Chris the same?
Because I'm your wife, Frank. You know what my future plans are. You don't know what Chris's intentions are. What's to stop him trying to take over again while we're away?
Should be a lively meeting this afternoon. See you there.
These are the master keys. I cannot stress too highly the importance of them, so don't lend them to anybody or leave them lying around. They're totally your responsibility, David. Understood?
Don't worry, Mrs. Tate. You can rely on me.
A keys for wine cellar on there as well. Sorry.
Now, there's just one more thing for you to do. Wish us a happy honeymoon.
Oh, all the best, Mrs. Tate.
Yeah, have a good one.
Really good one.
Thank you. Now, you all know your responsibilities, and there's no reason why you can't carry them out. So I'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Right. Yeah. See ya.
See ya.
Where is it they're going?
Hawaii.
She's hardly going to be nipping back to check up on us then, is she?
Just remember who's in charge, though. He's the worst.
He's late.
Relax. Thomas may not be the most punctual of men, but he is the best company secretary we could have.
Yeah, well, Thomas Molyneux should realise that he works for us and not the other way round.
He works for the shareholders of Tate Holdings.
I'll get it. Hello, Home Farm. Yeah, she's just here. Hang on. Zoe, Emma Nightingale?
Hello. Oh, that's wonderful news.
Hello, Thomas.
Yes, I'd love to.
Apologies. Train held up due to squirrels putting nuts on the line. Just south of Peterborough.
Good to see you, Thomas.
You're looking very well, Frank. Marriage must suit you.
You should try it yourself sometime.
If only I had the time. No, I've just got back from Brussels. Now, there's an exciting place.
Shall we get on?
Emma's got the contract to redesign the Woolpack.
Good. She must be pleased.
Sure, Tate Holdings has ridden the recession reasonably well.
With farm rents, the holiday village and the stables coming out on top.
Yes.
And the Heritage Farm is looking a bit grim.
I hate to say it, Dad, but having Seth Armstrong dressed up as a yokel is no competition for Alton Towers.
Sadly not, no. But I still think it's a big enough draw to persevere with. And we're doing our bit to preserve rare breeds.
Yeah, like Seth Armstrong. Are we in business to make a profit or satisfy the friends of the earth and all that nonsense?
That's not nonsense.
Hopefully we can do both. But that comes under future plans. As we've heard about the past year, this might be an appropriate time to take a break before we discuss the year to come.
Can't you afford tablecloths anymore?
This'll pay for an awful lot of tableware.
What is it?
Plans for the Emmerdale Golf Club.
It's what? When did we agree on this?
Well, strictly speaking, we didn't, but it's a fine idea.
And the work's already begun. I initiated it when we had to shift a lot of the topsoil in the aftermath of the crash.
That was months and months ago. You've been working on it all this time without consulting us.
There was no need to consult you. We thought you had enough problems to contend with. It just looks like we've been shifting and skimming topsoil.
Did you know about this?
No, but I've no objections to it.
We thought the least said the better. I've got planning permission, but as nobody knows about it, then they can't object, can they? Sound business practice.
Sharp practice, going behind the board's back. The whole principle is wrong.
How often have I said to you, to hell with the principle, it's the money?
And where's the finance going to come from for this, then?
It's all there in your annual reports. We're borrowing $75,000 from the bank against a couple of old lodges on the estate, one of which will be converted to the clubhouse.
Is it big enough?
No, but To avoid complications with planning permission, we're extending the existing building to over 4 times the size.
Not for 75 grand. And what about the rest of the cost?
There's further investment from another company.
Which other company?
Livery Company Limited.
Who the hell are they?
A company with enough capital to invest in a golf course. $250,000.
What was the name of that company you started about 5 years ago, Kim?
Livery Company Limited. I'm not trying to hide the fact.
Hang on. Let me get this absolutely straight. This is some of the money you got from my father's divorce settlement.
It's my money, yes.
Then why should it be loaned via your company? Now that you've remarried, why don't you just give it back?
Chris, that isn't fair. Kim was given a just settlement at the time. She's now been good enough to invest it in a joint venture.
A joint venture? Just what's the split on this?
Tate Holdings and Livery Company will each own 50% of the golf course.
Meaning Kim will own half and we 3 will own the other half?
Yes, but decisions and policy will be decided on 5 equal votes.
To hell with decisions and policy. Are the profits going to be split 3 ways or 2?
2. A straight split between my company and Tate Holdings.
This stinks.
This is a sound business decision. You can't honestly expect Kim to repay her divorce settlement. This way, she's putting her money back so we can all make a profit from it.
If the golf club's successful, I am risking a large amount of capital.
Which was Dad's to start off with and which you acquired because of your adultery.
I hardly think you're in a position for those sort of comments.
Maybe not, but I am in a position to ruin this scheme.
And why would you want to do that? 5 minutes ago, you didn't know anything about a golf course. Now, at least you own 1/6 of it.
Your dad's right. It's a real winner.
You don't even have a right to be here.
She has every right. She's a director.
And I'm a major shareholder, and she doesn't even have a share. I mean, what is this? Have I become invisible or something since I've been confined to this thing? I mean, I may be disabled. I'm not bloody stupid. How come she has more of a say than I do?
Kim doesn't. And you are a major shareholder. You're also going to be in charge of the whole shebang while I'm away. And as I've stuck my neck out to a point, you don't let me down by resorting to silly outbursts of petulance. A lot of the land that the golf course will cover is useless anyway. We'll have to have borrowed money to build on it, or bring in another partner. This way it makes sense. And even if you get Zoe to support you, me, Thomas and Kim, as directors, would carry the vote.
It's Tate land, Dad, our land. She doesn't even have a right to any share in it.
Her name is Kim Tate, Chris. And you'll treat my wife with respect.
Look. I agree with the golf course. But I do think that Chris is right. Dad should be an equal partner in Livery Company Limited.
But that is between your father and Kim. Now, can we proceed with the agenda, please?